Hey, hi guys, there's another Q&A question. This one comes from Hem T. Sorry Hem, I'm not going to try pronouncing your name, mate. It's come through Big Game Indicating Dogs on Facebook. How do you make a gun-shy dog gun steady? So I'm guessing when you say gun steady, you mean how do you get a gun-shy dog comfortable with the gun again? And this is something I've done before. I've done it in boot camps. I've done it a fair bit. You can do it. It's something I've heard people say, you can't do it once a dog's gun shy. It's stuff, mate. It's impossible. It's not true. And I've made other videos about this actually. They're floating around on YouTube. Fixing a gun shy dog really is one of those things that it's borderline expert territory. There's two main ends of that spectrum. One end is having no pressure on the dog whatsoever. The dog's off a long line. Sometimes I'll use multiple dogs, so it's really good to get a dog that is gun shy. Running free and having a lot of fun with 2 or 3 other dogs that aren't gun shy. And start firing some shots. And what I'll do is if a dog is gun shy to say a shotgun or a big centerfire deer rifle, I'll step it right back to a 22 with subsonics and a suppressor, so it's just a little pop, and work my way back forward. So my starting point with a gun shy dog would be get it running around in a nice open space with no pressure on it whatsoever. Go right back to the quietest gun possible, which is basically a 22 subsonics and a suppressor. Fire a couple of shots and see how it goes. Never get the dog and it's gun shy, or even, and this is really important for introducing dogs to gunfire in the first place. You don't want to get your dog out of the kennel, put it on the back lawn, and sit there staring at it, wondering what it's going to act like when you fire a shot. Look at it and fire a shot, because as soon as you sort of get that gun out and you start thinking, well, how's the dog going to react, and you're looking at it, dogs are masters at reading body language and picking up when something's going on. So as soon as you get in that mindset of how's my dog going to react, they're picking up on that and they're thinking, man, he's really watching me here. He's gauging my reaction, so something's about to happen that I should react to. So you can actually create it in your dog by just looking for it, and that's hugely, hugely common. So when I'm working with a dog to correct gun shyness, I don't look at the dog, no eye contact. My body language is super relaxed, and the other dogs that are running around are super relaxed as well. They may even be excited because they're comfortable with a gun and they've done a lot of hunting, and a gun and hunting and walking around with a gun and shooting is all a positive thing to them. I have no control on any of the dogs, so I let them run right out of their range, just run around happy. The gun shy dog's doing its thing. I don't even look at it, because just looking at it is telling it that something's going on. I don't even look at it. Walk along, very relaxed body language, 22 with subsonics, and I'll just pop around into the ground and just try to ignore the dog. Quite often the dog will stop, look at me, oh, what's going on? It might even come straight back in at heel and walk behind me for a while. I'll try to keep walking and stay relaxed and hope the dog just relaxes and goes out and starts running around and playing with the other dogs again. Another key point here, when you fire that shot and the dog shows any sort of apprehension or fear to that shot, don't reassure it. Don't call it, good girl, it's all right, good boy, it's all right, good boy, good boy. When you reassure and pat a dog like that while it's unsure, the dog doesn't know you're trying to reassure it. All the dog thinks is that you are praising it for being scared. So you fire the shot, the dog comes in, it's scared, and you're just saying, good boy, be scared, be scared, be scared, be gun shy, and it's this nasty downward spiral. And the more you fire the shot, the more you reassure it, the worse the dog gets. So totally ignore it. The only time you praise your dog, especially a dog you're trying to fix from being gun shy, is as it starts to relax. If you fire a shot and the dog comes in behind you, just completely ignore it and stay very calm, relaxed body language yourself, walking around When you see the dog start to relax and walk out and it goes out to play again, then you might call it in when it's relaxed and give it a pat and say good girl, and then let it run out again. So that's one end of the spectrum. No pressure, you're trying to get the dog to relax and run around. And that's a really commonly talked about way of introducing dogs to gunfire and fixing a gun-shy dog. The other end of the spectrum that I've used before a lot, and it can work very well, is the complete opposite to that. So sometimes in that situation when I'm trying to fix a gun-shy dog and it's running around happy with the other dogs, I fire that first shot. It might just run for the hills. I've been half a kilometre away from home, and I fire the shot and the dog just runs full blast all the way home, back to the house, and it's in the corner of the shed shaking. So you're sort of stuck there. With a dog like that, I go to the complete other end of the spectrum and I put a lot of pressure on the dog. I tell the dog to sit down, and I fire a shot, and if the dog tries to move, I say, cut it out, sit down, stay there. Fire a shot, stay there. So I go from no pressure, letting the dog run around free, no commands, no range, nothing, to total opposite, pressure. And one step further, if I tell a dog to sit and stay and I fire a shot and it just completely switches his ears off and doesn't listen to me telling it to stay there, I'll actually put a collar and a lead on the dog, or a long line on the dog, tie a loop in my lead or long line, and get a peg and peg the dog put to the ground. So I have a rope on the dog and peg that rope, so if the dog tries to run away, it can't. So I'm actually fixing it to the spot. It can't go anywhere, and I'll sit there and fire shots. I only do this when that's my only choice. I can't do anything else with the dog. It's so gun shy, it's just going to run away. And now this is expert territory, and I'm looking at the dog, I'm reading the dog, and what I start doing here is I'm reading very, very subtle body language indicators for when the dog relaxes a tiny, tiny bit. So I'm talking, the dog might be shaking, quivering at the end of the, at the end of the rope, because a totally gun-shy dog, if I fire a shot and I see the shaking just calm down a tiny bit, I'll say, good girl, and then she might go back into it, and I'll stop praising her. And then every time I see her relax a little bit, good girl, and I slowly bring them out of it, fire a couple more shots, their body language gets more relaxed, I roll more praise on. And it's just it's a real process. And the thing is, and why it can be real expert territory, is because with a really gun-shy dog, I might switch from having the dog running around free at this end of the spectrum. I'll have a long line in the back of my pocket and a peg jammed into the ground nearby, and the dog might switch from okay, and then I'll fire one shot and it'll just go, nup, stuff this and try to run away. Then I'll say, cut it out, sit down. And if I can get it to sit down and fire a shot, it might be okay, and then she might relax, and she's running around again, firing a couple of shots, then she'll try to run away, sit down, and then she won't sit there again. So I'll tie a rope around her, put a peg on her, peg her down, and it just switches backwards and forwards, and it's all over the place. And I'm using every little ounce of my experience and ability to read a dog and every trick in the book, working with a dog for 15 minutes 4 times a day for a week or 2 weeks to fix it. So that's about all I can tell you about fixing a gun-shy dog and how I do it. And yeah, that's the sort of thing that if you can't do it yourself, that's when like a Dare Dog boot camp or a one-on-one session or something is the next option. But yeah, it's quite a complex one. But anyway, I hope that's, throw another comment on this video, Hen, and let me know if that's helped you or if it hasn't, and how you're getting on, or anything else we can help you with. But that's it. 10-minute Q&A there. So yeah, we'll see you in the next one, guys. Cheers.